All right. Hi, everyone. I'm back with another guest this week to talk about disrupting perfectionism to provoke possibilities in our life. And I have a dear friend of mine, Annmarie, who's joining us, who is a mentor for women that struggle with autoimmune chronic disease and just really supporting them to thrive with their daily struggles that come up and just allowing them to have
Mhm.
that permission slip to advocate for
Mm.
themselves and really navigate their world in the way that they need to navigate it. So welcome, Anne-Marie. I'm so excited
Thank
for
you. I'm so glad to be here. I'm excited. This is
oh
great.
it's
Starting
so
starting off almost December off with a
yeah
cheer for hello and a cheer for goodbye because the
yeah
holidays are upon us.
Yeah, oh my gosh,
Uh,
and that's
and
the thing about getting to the end of the year. I think there can be a lot of, you know, maybe 2 different ends of the spectrum. Maybe there's different things in between, and maybe you can share insight to anything else, but the more conversations I've been having, I've been hearing from some people who are saying things like, the year just, like, zoomed on by. There were so many things
mm,
I didn't get to do, and then others who are just like, "Okay, I need to take more time, or I get to take more time for myself," especially during this busyness and all the
I
things
agree with
are
that.
going.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
kind of on that page, taking
yeah,
time to reflect.
yeah,
Um, I tend to do that more between now and the new year. Um,
mm,
and to find gratitude in
yeah,
all that's happened. And it doesn't have to be good or bad.
yeah,
I've had loss this year and I've gotten a lot of positivity out of it. I learned through the loss of my mother that life is pretty precious
mm,
and give ourselves permission because we're all about that, right?
yeah,
To um, to enjoy the little things because we tend to forget the little things.
yeah,
And we have little things that add up. It's just one big gigantic wow, and that's kind of what I've been seeing this past couple of weeks, just taking in the little things. Just the
yes,
little things are just really making me happy. Moments with my grandchildren, moments with my husband. I mean, going to a concert at a local venue on Saturday was just beautiful. Just
oh,
just beautiful, and with friends I haven't seen in a while because being stuck in a house, it's a little thing getting out, right?
mhm,
But it was so precious, precious
yeah.
time.
Oh, that's so beautiful because I think just what you shared about being able to look back and hold that gratitude for all the seemingly little things that have
Mm,
now made up like this big picture of where you are and how you're feeling, and just
mm,
being able to celebrate amongst like all of the grief that you experienced and the
yes.
different tribulations that the ups and downs and all of that, getting to look back and just say like, wow, so many beautiful things happened this past year or in my life that maybe in the moment I didn't necessarily understand
Mm.
why like these things were happening.
No, 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 I don't know why. I just know that I'm feeling extremely grateful
Yeah,
and just allowing that feeling, just to like revel in like, wow, this is what it feels like. Because we all know what sadness is and what regret
yeah,
feels like. And we tend to take gratitude for granted.
yeah,
So I'm like very grateful for the year. I'm grateful that the steps that I've made for this year and
yeah,
and did it in spite of all the craziness that was around me. Like I just kind of coexisted with it all because
mm,
every day there's some kind of stuff happening. And if we grab onto it and we hold on to it, we lose focus and we give ourselves permission to be not so great. And I'm
yeah,
all about let's find the permission to be happy because,
yeah,
that's we all fall into like, well, this is how life is. And but it
yeah,
doesn't it doesn't have to be. And that's what I found from my mother just watching her pass was, a lot of people don't look at it this way, but I thought it was very beautiful
mm,
to watch somebody leave this world, especially that gave me this world,
mm.
So it was just beautiful. And I look back and I'm never going to forget it because it was that beautiful, that
Oh,
empowering for me. And I've been a little bit bluesy because I'm missing her. It's the holidays. So
yeah,
and I'm giving myself permission for that,
yeah,
So yeah,
just to lean
it's
into
interesting.
whatever you're
Oh,
feeling.
so leaning into it. So, So my grandchildren, they said the other day that they're missing my mother, and, she was a very
Mhm.
prominent person in their lives, and, my mother was sick chronically for a long time.
Yeah.
Not that I went to where I am because of that, but, they saw her pain, and
Right.
recently said to me, "I'm really missing Gigi." And I
Mhm.
told them it was okay to miss her, but when I look at them, I see her, and they were
Right.
just like, "Wow," like, so I gave them permission to feel her also, 'cause we don't let the whole circle of life really allow it to happen. We just gotta go to grief instead of celebrating, and I believe there's a celebration in everything.
Yeah, and that love and grief get to coexist,
Mm,
and and
absolutely.
without love, there probably wouldn't be grief, right? And
Mhm.
how yeah, it really goes together, and I love how you said, like, how much you see your mother and your children, because I
Oh,
was
yeah.
talking to someone today about this and how when I lost my grandmother, who was very important to me, and what that process was like in that first year of grieving, and now like every day, how I show up, or whether it's in my work, in my business too,
Mhm.
it's like she's almost that, like she's with me and I can feel
Mhm.
that like permission from her
Yes.
also to be like yeah, go out there, like have fun, use your voice, like share your heart with people, because that's what
Mm,
she did, and she was very unapologetic with how she just shared whatever was on her heart or her mind. And I just remember what it was like to see her be who she was, and how that obviously rippled into my world, but the people that I didn't
mm,
even know, or the people that were caring for her, or other members of our family, and just how powerful her presence was, and how it's like, okay, I get to embody that too, because those are traits inside of me that I have and I share with her, that allow me to, like, anytime I do a workshop, or a speech or anything like that, any kind, even today it was just like, okay, like I hold my shoulders up a little higher, and I know she's here, and she's
mm.
like, go get that, like go get it, right?
Mhm. Yeah, it's
Cool.
it's I totally feel it. So my mother was a good time. She liked to have a good time, and that's probably one of the things that her and I have in common is we like to enjoy the moment, and she always would say, I would come home even when I recently when I'd go out and she's like, "Oh, did you have a good time?" And I'd go, "Of course I had a good time." And her main thing, and one of my friends said it, and I don't think they've ever heard her say it, was, "Well, you only have a good time because you make yourself have a good you make yourself have a good time. You going out. If you're not having a good time, it's on you."
Yeah.
And I can't ever really tell you that I'm not having a good time because I am enjoying every moment, especially now since she's gone. Because you know what? I gave her time because she needed me, just like when
Yeah.
I was younger, I needed her, so it was so role reversed, and I get to give that to my clients. I get to give that same care, that same love, that same time, that just to be present,
Yeah.
and that I think is what she gave me in the end, where I was able to take that time that she needed and
Mm,
really be present.
yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
gift. It was a gift. I mean, I don't know if anybody knows what that is, to be that present and not judge anything around you because you were being present. I mean, so what? My house didn't get cleaned. Well, you know what? She needed me more because I got to be with her. And
Yeah.
that was, and giving myself permission, because that was like in the back of my head, like, holy shit, I really gotta clean. But
Right.
I didn't,
Yeah.
because it was a little bit more important. And
Yeah.
it was important to me to show
Mm,
up, you
yeah.
know? Uh, and I I'm having like this, like, "Oh, like this time last year, this is what we were doing." I'm doing a
Mm,
lot of reflecting of that.
right.
I knew that last year that Thanksgiving was the last time she was gonna leave the house.
Wow.
And yeah, like I knew she wasn't gonna be around this year. So I
Mhm.
know, like, I made last Thanksgiving very present for everybody.
Yeah.
I made that happen for her.
Yeah.
and my
Oh,
family, that's
yeah.
what joy and the fact that I can look back today and I
Mhm.
still have that same warmth that I
Yeah.
had then, no regrets. No
Yeah.
regrets. I think that's the joy of what I have is I have no regrets,
Yeah.
and it wasn't easy, but I have no regrets. I think that's beautiful.
I love that. And I love what you said too, just about, being present. And I learned this yesterday that every second, and you were talking about this even before that, this what we focus on, right, makes a difference. And giving, ourselves that choice of having a good time. And I learned that I think every second it's like 11 million. There's 11 million things that we could take in,
Mhm,
only actually like process 40 things. And
mhm,
so that's wild, right? It's like millions and millions of things, but only 40 kind of get through the filter.
mm,
And so it shows us of those even 40 things, whatever it is we choose to focus our attention on or whatever gets through that filter,
mm,
perhaps can be like whatever gets through is because whatever it is we're focusing on or our attention is turned to, right? So it could
mhm,
be 40 things that provoke a negative feeling or allow us or support us to stay in a mindset or this framing of things that maybe isn't supportive of that joy or that fun, but instead, like, there is that choice if we
mhm,
focus on the good part of things and these things that maybe are very vulnerable or joyful or whatever it may be, like, we can control where our focus goes and our intention goes, e even though, there could be times where people are just in that rut, right? Of like, "This
mhm,
is horrible, things are not going my way, things are not working out the way I wanted." This is a huge loss, which in fact it is, but being able to like be conscious of that choice and that reframe of looking for
mhm,
those beautiful things that may also be sad but bring us joy, or lean into
mhm.
love is something that we get to do actually, in fact, right? And so
Right, so I agree
it's
with
not
all of
set up.
that. So I believe, like, life is 50-50, right? It's never always 50 together, but it's 50-50. And if you have something like you're having a death in your life, it's detrimental, on your body and, it just takes a lot out of you. But if you just walk through it and you get to
Yeah.
that other 50, like I'm on that other 50.
Yeah.
I'm on that side of like, yes, it was hard and it was like what people would say is negative. So you get this 50-50, but when people stay on that 50, now you're just compounding it and you can't see through to the other side. It's like that, the light, forest through the light kind of thing. You can't see it because you're so focused on it. Um, and that's a choice we make to stay there. I really believe that. I choose not to stay there. I choose to see like
Mhm.
every good has a opposite side. Every bad has a good in it. So you get to learn from it. Um, and I learned a lot. Like it was, I mean, I learned a lot about what death was about, and it was
Mhm.
and to me, I thought it was beautiful. I just,
Right.
somebody else would not have seen what I saw,
Right.
and that's how we're all different. But we all get to be open-minded,
Mm.
and, I did see that. I did see that within my family members that they didn't see this as a beautiful part of life, and I
Mhm.
did. Like, I totally saw it as a beautiful thing, and who
Yeah.
better than me to do it? I kind of wanna feel like I'm selfish about it,
Mm.
and unapologetically selfish about it. I got to see
That.
something so amazing,
Mhm.
um, and I felt her leave me. Like, it was beautiful, scared the crap out of me at the moment, but I
Right.
felt her leave.
Yeah.
Um, um, so to me, I don't look at death as, sad.
Mm. Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, I think of it as it's part of life, and if we get to experience it, it's a beautiful
Mhm.
experience.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just for me, and I'm definitely in this mode right now, feeling her, and
Mhm.
um, it's just It's just beautiful, and I'm
Yeah.
allowing myself to feel the emotions of it all. I'm not pushing it down. I'm not,
Yeah.
which is, new nature. We don't want to feel it,
Yeah, and I think this just, like thank you for sharing this because I think this really adds another perspective for people who maybe are struggling right now when it comes to, the holidays, but also
Hmm.
juggling the reality maybe of some of these, um, real life things that, whether it be juggling work or family or just
Hmm.
like the day-to-day things, while also like making space for this grief or finding beauty in the loss of someone that, we or they love so dearly. And so I really thank you for that. And just want to point out like this is such a superpower that you have,
Oh,
beyond
thank you.
experience with your mother, but the women that you support in your business, right? To really find that presence and to,
Mhm.
navigate the day-to-day reality that there are many things going on and the juggling of that and that they get to find, you know, permission or make choices where they can find that joy. And so I'm really curious and would love for you to share more about that because I know this is a reflection of you
Oh,
wanting to
yeah.
well, because it's something that's dear to your heart and your real life.
Right. I mean, I'm sure most people that are diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, because I have it. I hated the
Mhm.
fact that I had it in the beginning,
Yeah.
and then I embraced it.
Mhm.
I embraced having it, knowing that, well, I have this one life,
Yeah.
and I can sit in the shit. I can sit
Yeah.
in the muck of it all, or I can figure out how to live it and live
Right.
with it. And I'm tell you, I've been 7 medications through.
Mm.
I've had allergic reactions, they just didn't work, and it's very discouraging for someone that has it because you're in pain, and pain is a very big motivator, especially when you don't know what to do about it. You don't know where to go with it. So I keep saying it was a year ago, but it's not even a year ago anymore. It's like 13, 14 months ago, I was crawling upstairs,
Yeah. Wow.
not being able to walk, and I remember thinking, like, I know life is better than this.
Yeah.
And I just kept being persistent, and learning more about it. And I said, I don't have anybody to help me. I have this great gift that
Mm.
I got certified in being a life coach. And I was like, you know what? I need to really work with women like myself that think their lives are over because we have this chronic disease and it's going
Mm.
to be with us forever. So I know that my mindset every day when I wake up is today is going to be a good day,
Yeah.
even when I'm in pain. Um,
Yeah.
I, so if I can't walk across the room, that's okay. I can walk halfway. I kind of found something in the moment to be good about, to feel good about my day. I have finally set protocols for myself. Okay, so this is going to happen today. Then I'm not going to do that. Learned how to do body scans of myself. I shared that with the women.
Mhm.
Just little tweaks in the morning can set your day. I'm a
Yeah.
big journaler, big journaler. If you're in pain, allow yourself to feel the pain because you can't hide from it. You
Yeah.
think you do? You think you can hide from pain. When it's physical pain, you can't hide it. Um,
No.
and we want to educate those around us, but some of them just don't want to be educated, and they want to stay in the clouds. So you know what? That's their space. And that was something I had to learn early on. Like I can't educate them because they don't want to know. And that's
They're
okay.
not ready right now,
And
right?
it's okay. So
Yeah.
okay. But I
Yeah.
mean, for me, it's just really to help women to realize that we get to live the life that we want
Yeah.
with our disease, with
Mhm.
our chronic illness. And no one has to understand it except ourselves.
Right. Right.
And that's the beauty of what I love.
Yeah.
I could wake up like I've been my knees hurt. The weather changed, so my protocol had to change.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, we're gonna do that one. So it's just learning how to manage your own pain around the thoughts you have about it,
Yeah.
and that is, honor your body, honor
Mhm.
your body, and honor ourselves more than anything. Our thoughts about it because they're there. We
Yeah.
have what? 80,000 thoughts that pop through our head, again, we just said that, right? They pop in our head, but if the pain is greater, we're going to choose to focus on the pain.
Right.
But if we choose to go, well, it's here today. We're going to work with it today. We
Acknowledging
work with
it.
it,
Yeah.
you know, giving it permission, right? Giving it permission to
Mm.
be with us today. Because if
Yeah.
we put so much emphasis, like I'm not going to be able to do because I'm in pain, and we get
Right.
like that anger about it, today it's
Mhm.
like, oh, well, it's here. So, I'm going to
Yeah.
get this accomplished today.
Neat. And there's that difference, I think, between acknowledging it and, like, claiming it,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely. You don't have to hold it and baby it. Like, I would say, the whoopee blanket,
Mm.
don't, it's not your whoopee. It's
Yeah.
just there. It's just there. And I think that's pretty important to realize that that's not going to change. We're As someone that has it, every day is different.
Mhm.
And I mean, luckily I'm in remission at the moment. And yesterday, like this past couple of days, I had pain. You forget what it's like because that's just another part of human nature. We forget. That's
Yeah.
the And I was like, oh, I jumped into protocol mode, and I was like,
Right.
okay, I'm good. And then you
Yeah.
know what? I didn't feel the pain anymore. It was
Mhm.
there, but it wasn't
Yeah.
the top thing on my head, like, "Oh, I can't do this, I
Right.
can't do that, it's here." I gave
Yeah.
myself permission to rest, lay in bed, take an extra Advil,
Yeah,
you know?
that was me yesterday, like, with my fibromyalgia. I don't
Yeah,
always,
right.
and sometimes I'm like, "Why are my hands hurting?" And then I'm like, "Oh, maybe that's why," but then I'm just like, "Oh, it doesn't matter why. Right now, I'm
Mm,
just gonna, do what I need to do in a different way. I'm gonna make time and space to rest, and I'm just gonna, like, again, not focus on it and
no.
still, like, I think there's that some of these places that I wanted to put myself in, when I first heard that label of like,
Mhm.
okay, well, there's nothing else, again, I was tested for all these things. There's nothing because the physical pain I was experiencing
Mhm.
was so intense. And so almost to have that label was like validating, but then I'm like, okay, well, it's still not telling me why. So maybe why doesn't matter. What can I do emotionally and physically
Mhm. Yes.
really to,
Mhm.
when things come up, like, just allow myself to say, "Oh, wait, my body's telling me right now, like,
It's talking
can
to me.
work can rest and I can
Mhm.
rest, and it doesn't like, these other things don't matter. I can focus on this, or I can, go for a walk and a stretch or whatever it may be." But just kind of using it not as because there was a period of time where I was like, "Oh, like, my body is too sore, I can't move my body." But it's like,
Mhm.
now it's like, that's exactly what I need to do. I get to do it
Yes.
gently, and I get to be gentle with myself. And so I think there can be that phase, and I love that you're here to support people through that because it can be a very isolating thing when you are
Yes.
around people every day who just don't understand, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I know even with, fibromyalgia, they don't know. They don't even know what triggers RA, or any
Yeah,
of these autoimmune disease, they really don't know. They think it's trauma, they think it's gut, they have all these theories, and, they just don't know. Just like they don't know if eating this is gonna hurt you or if, doing that's gonna hurt you. Like, they have all these different things. Um,
yeah,
I also and I think it's important, and you touched that you have to give yourself permission to try things.
mhm,
I got so much advice. You gotta try this, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, ba ba ba, get this book, do that. It's overwhelming in the beginning.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
so overwhelming, and you have all the thoughts of, "I'm gonna be in a wheelchair in a year," you
right,
know, but I what I tell them is you get to try them all. All of them
mm,
aren't going to work. You might take this from this spot, take this from this spot, because
mhm,
everybody's body is
yeah.
different, which makes us all so unique.
Yeah, and how you said having a protocol, like, that really helped me, was like, okay, every day, regardless of the pain or
Mhm,
my energy levels or whatever, like, I'm gonna perhaps feel a different capacity
mhm,
to show up in different ways.
yeah,
So, like, if
yes,
I can't, you know, or if I feel like in the moment, doing this thing that I had planned in this way isn't gonna really support me to feel good, then perhaps I just get to do this other thing instead and
right.
allow ourselves that, grace of like
Grace.
having different options. Like, it doesn't mean we can't
Mm.
participate still or experience this thing, but maybe we get to do it differently. And so I love that you said how they're like you yourself have created these protocols and help other people to do that too, because I think there can be in this idea and this like societal norms of showing up in a certain way, like that perfectionism is like
Mhm.
have to do it this way or it's wrong, or you have to do it this way or people will be disappointed or judge me or this or that. And it's actually like, okay, we can show up imperfectly, but it
Oh,
gets to
so
be the right
imperfectly.
thing for us, right?
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that I mean, as women, and I mean, I'm just as much to blame. I've done it in my past that, oh, I gotta do this. I have to get this done. And it didn't matter how much pain I was in. I mean, I was in a lot of pain before I was even diagnosed. And I pushed,
Yeah.
suck it up, buttercup was like something that, was always in my head. Just suck it up. You got to get through it. You
Yeah.
know, I don't do that anymore. It's like, no, there is no more sucking up buttercup. There's, stop, breathe, figure it out. Look where your feet are planted, especially, like, especially when it's like that feeling of overwhelm. I
Mm.
stop. I look at my feet and see
Mm.
where they're planted, which then brings me to be one with myself. Just
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's just
Mm.
where I've come from, what I've seen other women that work with me do.
Yeah.
It's really making yourself a priority, which
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. And I do believe we are all capable of it. Learning how to breathe. I'm big on breath work.
Yeah.
If you don't breathe, you don't breathe it out, breathe
Yeah.
in the good air to let out the bad air. It's just to cleanse yourself. And and that was one of the first things I learned to do is I did a box breathing where I could
Yeah.
actually visualize the box going in and out. So, and I still do that, not as much as I used to, but I mean,
Mm.
again, it's making yourself a priority and finding what works. That works for
Yeah.
me. It might not work for someone else. Some people do this. It's
Yeah.
just to take the attention away and bring you to a present moment that you're
Mm.
able to look at things clearly, like, oh, okay, I'm in pain. That's why I'm being a pain in the neck. That's why I'm not feel like I'm getting things accomplished.
Mhm.
And you don't have to continue on.
Yeah, and there's all these different tools that we get to pick and choose, like different
Absolutely.
types of breath work or
Hmm.
self-hypnosis or body scans or just taking
Hmm.
that to, like, quickly, like, check in with like, your feet. I love that because it is like we have all these things coming at us all the time. By doing that, we create this, like, vertical of
Hmm.
ourselves. Take a moment to, like, again, choose what it is we're gonna focus our intention on, and I think overwhelm or any like stress or anxieties we feel are this opportunity for us to stop and think, okay, what am I afraid of right now? Like, what
Hmm.
is this feeling of overwhelm here? And what can I do to give myself that permission to not be overwhelmed anymore? Like, what are the things that I get to tell myself, or how do I get to support my body right now that allow me to move out of this feeling of overwhelm and really just yeah, ground back into, like,
Right, and it's baby steps. It's giving yourself permission to take a step.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just a step. It's just one step to
yeah,
and practice. You just practice that one baby step, and that one baby step becomes two baby steps. And before
yeah,
you know it, you're walking and it becomes second nature when you feel off. You know, it's just there's a weird feeling. I mean, I don't know if you saw, I exercised with a trainer twice a week because that's my protocol. Like I have to, like
yeah,
that's I get to do that.
yeah,
I don't stop. Like, even if I don't feel good, I go there and I'm like, "This is what's going on," and we change my plan. Like, and I love that she can pivot that way.
yeah,
But, for me, it's like, you gotta do it. Little
yeah,
steps, little steps because it's honoring yourself.
yeah,
Honor yourself before anybody else because what good are you if you can't honor yourself?
yeah, it's so
Mhm.
true. Oh, I love that. You're just
Yeah.
you're so wonderful. I'm so glad we do
I
this 'cause we talk all the time, but n we don't get to share what we're talking about with people.
No, 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 I know, and I knew you had fibromyalgia, and I forgot when I got on
I
here.
forget too. I try not to use it as a label, and now it's just like, for me, it's that
Well,
permission, really to notice like how my emotion, like for me, I'm taking it as like my emotions that I wasn't able, like I wasn't allowing myself to process and to
Yes.
release, have been stored in my body and
Mm,
have manifested in this pain. And so
mhm.
now it's like that reminder, okay, there's like work to be done, that I get to like honor
Yes.
my
You
emotions.
know
I
what?
get to things, I get to
Mhm,
nurture my nervous system and
mhm. And, you know, and there's always room to learn more.
yeah,
Always room. So I just recently started saying that, you know, my RA isn't a label for me.
yeah,
It's not who I am, it's what I
yeah,
have,
yeah,
you know, and I get to define it.
yeah,
You know, I
yeah,
define how I feel with it. I define how I share it with people, but it's not who I am, it's just what I
yeah.
have. You know,
It's
it's
so
not, you know, it's and when I and it again, it's just that one word.
yeah.
You know, it's what I have. It's not what I am,
Mm. Yeah,
it's what I have.
so
Because
good.
before I knew I had it, I'm still
Yeah,
me, you know,
exactly.
and it's just a label if we want it to be a label.
Yeah, it's so true,
You
and I love
you
we
know
have a comment here, from Amy, who has been such a support for my business and helping
Ah,
do what I do, and she just shared a comment with us, like, she's someone who suffers from chronic illness as well, and just how much this hits home for her, so I'm so glad, like, that you are
mhm,
sharing, you know, supporting people in this way, but how much this has impacted, like, building these protocols,
mhm.
leaning into the things that you get to prioritize for yourself to feel good, how much that can inspire others and show others, like, this is possible. So, I
Yes,
just wanted to make sure you saw that comment because
I
it's just
I
so
do
beautiful.
see it, yes. Oh, I am so glad. I am so, you know, it's important. It's
Yeah,
important that, you know, we get to define it. You
yeah.
know, not somebody else, you know, because 'cause they'll go, "Oh, well, you know, she's got this, or she's got that." And it's like,
Or not
no, it's
limiting to what she is possible to achieve
right,
or
right.
experience or this and that, and it's like, "No way."
No. I mean, you know, I think, you know, my rheumatologist was so he was so amazed that I was doing this. He was like, "Oh my god, that is wonderful." 'Cause he knows
Yeah,
that there's that the mind and body, you know, they work together or they hinder each other together.
right.
So he was so
Yeah,
happy that I was supporting other people, women especially, I believe, because we're much more harder on ourselves, that we're not
yeah.
perfect, you know, but it he was like, "I need your card. I need this. I need to give it away." I was shocked. I was like, "What? Oh my
Oh,
god." But, you know, he's not looking at it from, like, the medical side of, like, how
mhm.
the mind and body, he's thinking of it just, like, for daily living,
Yeah,
to support, you know,
mhm.
and there's a lot of support systems out there, but a lot of them aren't talking mindset,
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah.
and I don't know how to, like, jump into that arena yet, and I will.
You already are.
I know,
How about
I know,
that?
I
How about
know,
that? You already are. You already
I know.
have.
I know, but it's, you know, I just wanna jump in and be like, "No, don't go there," and, it's,
Yeah,
you know, and I'm seeing women that have it 20, 30 years that are just, you know,
yeah,
they still feel the same way they did the first time they heard about it,
yeah,
you know, and I just wanna hug them and tell them it doesn't need to be that way, you know, we get to change that narrative in our head, like, we really do have that power.
yeah. It's so true. Oh, it's amazing. Well, anyone who ends up listening to the replay or is listening now, I just want to send an invitation to all of you. If you have any questions or comments, like please drop them in the like comment them and we're going to come back and we're going to check them out and any questions you might have for Annmarie, of course you can connect with her, and just know whether it's you or a loved one who is dealing with the day to day of navigating life with a chronic illness, there are so many possibilities. And,
Mm.
Annmarie is such a good example of that. And so, yeah, please send us comments or even if you want to send any DMs, like please connect with us. And thank you, Annmarie. Before you
Thank
go,
you.
I wonder, I have designed these cards. They're like celebration cards. There's
Okay.
42 of them. So if I pick one and read it to you, would you be able to, or would you like to provide like share an answer to one of
Sure.
the cards? Okay.
I'm always game for everything.
I'm gonna pick a random one. I can't see it. So these are, yeah, I designed these just to, prompt us to celebrate ourselves more and more. So, oh, share how you enjoy celebrating yourself.
So I enjoy celebrating myself
Mhm.
with the little things of like, so I like to run,
Oh, I see.
and
I
I
didn't know
never,
you.
I did, yeah, see, and exercise has always been something I enjoy.
Right.
But when I go do a 5K, I don't run in them. I don't run them anymore, but I
Yeah.
still can participate by walking.
Yeah.
And every time I go to one, there is such joy in it that
Yeah.
I'm out in it. I'm doing what I enjoy. I may not be running anymore, but I'm
Mhm.
still here. I'm still participating
Wow.
in what works for me in the
Mhm.
moment. Again, that goes back to what we've been talking about. You
Yeah.
know,
We get
it
to do
just
things
be we
differently.
right, you figure it out. And
Mhm.
I hope, I mean, I'm working towards it next year to be actually running again. I don't know
Wow.
if it's going to happen. I
Yeah.
don't know, but who knows? Who knows what next year could bring, right? Especially if I just keep plugging along, and I'll be so excited. Um, and my whole journey started with I was practicing I was training for a half marathon
Wow. My
when I
goodness.
found out I had RA. So to me, it'll be full circle that I
Mhm.
actually get to do that. Participate in a 5K. There'll be no more, like I know, like I'm never gonna do a half marathon because it's
Mm.
not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking
Right.
to be out. I'm just out to
Yeah.
be with people doing
Mhm.
it. And no matter if I'm running or I'm walking, we're still
Yeah.
doing the same distance. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if I come in dead first or dead last. It's still the
Yeah.
same 3.1. And
Love
that's
it.
the beauty that I love, that I get to
Mhm.
do these things today, and they all have a different meaning, where before I just did it. Now it's like I
Right.
celebrate I did it. I do them
Yeah.
on my own now. I used to do it with other people.
Yeah.
Now I'm like signing up and going alone.
I love
So
that.
yeah, so
Wow.
it's a
For
yes,
you.
I do that's my celebration, is doing that. And of course, when in doing that, I am an example to my granddaughters that
Mhm.
even though I do have a chronic disease, it doesn't stop me from living.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. That's the perfect card for you, the most excellent card for you.
Yes, yes,
My
see? Divine, they it just knows, it just knows.
Aw, thank you so much, Emery. This is so
Thank
beautiful
you.
to hear more from your heart and everything that you've overcome and continue to give yourself that permission to experience in life is so inspiring. So thank you so much for.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh!
All right. Well, have a beautiful day. And thank you again for anyone who tuned in or caught the replay. We're just so grateful to be able to share whatever it is comes out from our mind and heart and whatever. And so it's just, such a great thing that we get to share like this online with people that perhaps we've never met or are on the other side of the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.